Good evening. Coming up tonight,
USC is holding several welcome back events.
ESPN College Gameday is back in Columbia after 10 years.
And a record number of freshmen have arrived at USC.
But first, weather reporter Nicole Smith is in the studio with us. Nicole, what can we expect for weather this week?
Even though it's been a welcome break from the rain, I'm tracking rain later this week coming up when you can expect to see rain. And if we're going to have a wet game day, I'll have the weather forecast for this week and more for you tonight on SGTV Student News at 7.
Live from the Kennedy Greenhouse Studio.
This is Student News at 7.
Good evening, Carolina. I'm Popielarczyk.
And I'm Madelyn Cooper. Thanks for joining us tonight.
USC announced that the Columbia campus now has the highest enrollment numbers ever. The university has around 9,200 new undergraduate students for the 2024-2025 academic year. This number factors in the 7,000 freshmen, international exchange students, and transfer students. With this mass increase in student body, the Board of Trustees released their future plans on how to accommodate for all of these students in academics and residential life. Both Thomas Cooper Library and the East Tower of the Science and Technology Building are going to see renovations over the next few years, making these locations a larger and more accessible meeting space for students. The Honors College residents will also see the addition of a new wing, adding about 150 beds to the existing dorm. There will also be redevelopments made on McBride Hall, but specific plans have not yet been released. USC is working with private partnerships for restoration and redevelopment for the 7 historic homes on Henderson and College Street, as well as the Rutledge Building. Plans are yet to be announced. University President Michael Amaritas said, quote, "While not every project imagined in the plan will come to fruition, USC Next provides a valuable perspective on the university's infrastructure and how to design it to best accommodate to our current and future needs," end quote. Blueprints and the campus master plan can be found on sc.edu.
USC appears to be taking a bite out of lunch rush traffic and launching a new shuttle service called Lunchtime Express. The shuttle will run weekdays 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., taking students with a valid USC ID between Russell House and Greek Village. Students will have a chance to grab lunch off campus, potentially easing some of the Russell House crowds during peak hours. And there's more. In January 2025, USC will kick off the Night Express shuttle just in time for the spring semester. That service will make stops at 5 Points, the Vista, Greek Village, and the Horseshoe. Student government says it's not just about transportation, but also about keeping students safe. So Allie, I'm really excited about this because I'll be able to get my Chick-fil-A at Russell House.
Exactly. If it can help ease some of the traffic patterns that go on there, especially lunchtime, that would be great for everybody here on campus.
Definitely. The University of South Carolina is kicking off the new school year by partnering with Lexington Medical Center to launch a new College of Nursing satellite building to train nursing students. The new Clinical Education Building, also known as CEB, contains classrooms, study spaces, and the Center for Simulation and Experimental Learning, where students will experience hands-on clinical scenarios. But there's a catch. Lexington Medical Center has provided USC with the nursing building in exchange for the students assisting at the hospital. The co-op aims to address South Carolina's nursing shortage by expanding the number of graduating nurses. This means the College of Nursing will be accepting a larger number of students into its program. The CEB is open and welcoming its first students, a move that could change the face of nursing education in South Carolina for years to come. Coming up after the break, SGTV weather reporter Nicole Smith has this week's forecast. You don't want to miss it. Stay with us.
Welcome back. I'm Nicole Smith, and here's your look at tonight's forecast. Now, we're hitting back into those lower 60s this afternoon, so if you're heading out, you definitely would grab a sweater or a jacket. If you want to stay in, though, I would not blame you, as that humidity is at 62% here tonight, so definitely if you want to stay in, make it a steady night, anything like that. But the temps are ramping back up tomorrow as we get into those upper 80s, and we're sticking in the 80s all throughout the week. decreasing into those lower 80s by the end of the weekend. Rain chances are coming back this weekend as we're seeing rain Thursday through Sunday. I hear your chance this weekend, but what we really care about is that game day. Game day, we're seeing a higher chance, but we're not seeing it rain during the game. Nothing too bad if it does rain, a couple showers here and there, but nothing to cancel the game for sure. We're seeing heavier showers after 2 p.m. on Saturday, so nothing too bad. Still go out, having a great game day and a great tailgating too. Now it is hurricane season and we have a tropical storm in the tropics right now, Tropical Storm Francine, and it's currently off of Mexico right now, and we're seeing it make landfall, its first one, by tomorrow, and then head back into the ocean and make its second landfall off the coast of Louisiana, heading north in the United States, and then we're seeing it downgrade into a tropical depression later this weekend. I'll keep you updated on how that forms, but we also do have 2 more formations in the tropics right now off the coast of Africa, and there's about a 40 to 70% chance that they're going to form into a cyclone. We'll keep you updated on those formations and let you know when those are going to be forming. Coming up after the break, SGTV sports reporter Dakota Morris and Karenna Porter will give us the latest in sports. You don't want to miss it. Stay with us.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Dakota Morris.
And I'm Karenna Porter, here to give you the latest in sports. ESPN College Gameday is returning to Columbia for the first time in a decade this Saturday ahead of the LSU South Carolina football game. This is the 7th time the Gamecocks have been featured on the show. The broadcast will begin at 9 a.m. and will feature Reese Davis, Desmond Howard, Kirk Herbstreit, Pat McAfee, former Alabama head coach Nick Saban, and an additional celebrity guest. In 2014, Kenny Chesney was featured as the guest picker. Last year, Darius Rucker was featured on College Gameday at the UNC South Carolina matchup in Charlotte. In 2014, the show was held on USC's historic Horseshoe, but this Saturday, the event will be held at Gamecock Park. The game kicks off at noon, and SGTV will be there to cover the pregame show and the game.
I am so excited to have them back. First time in 10 years since 2014 that they've been here. It's so exciting.
I'm so excited. I'm planning on being there. Hopefully we can make some content for SGTV, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. This past Saturday, the South Carolina football team took home their 3rd straight win over the University of Kentucky in their SEC opener. The Gamecocks defeated the Wildcats 31-6 thanks to a stellar defense and new starting quarterback Lenoris Sellers. Sellers threw 2 touchdown passes for the Gamecocks, completing 11 out of 15 passes for a total of 159 yards. South Carolina's other 2 touchdowns were thanks to Nick Emanwari's 24-yard pick 6 and Raheem Sanders' 6-yard rushing touchdown. Emanwari's performance earned him SEC Defensive Player of the Week, along with SEC Special Teams Player of the Week, Kai Kroger, who had a 51.6 punting yard average. Kentucky's only points came in the second quarter, 2 field goals from Wildcat kicker Alex Rayner. But the Gamecock defense put massive pressure on Kentucky quarterback Brock Vandegrift and would hold them to these 2 field goals for the remainder of the game. South Carolina will take on LSU at home this Saturday at noon. On Saturday, August 21st, Gamecock women's basketball forward Ashlyn Watkins was arrested after campus police responded to a fire at 650 Lincoln. Watkins was arrested and charged with first-degree assault and battery and kidnapping and was later released on a $30,000 personal reconnaissance bond. According to the warrant obtained by WLTX News 19, Watkins assaulted the victim by, quote, forcefully grabbing her face, pulling her by the arms, and pushing her, end quote. The warrant also states Watkins received a kidnapping charge by grabbing the underage victim and, quote, preventing her from leaving, end quote. Watkins is being represented by attorney Todd Rutherford, who told WLTX the incident was a misunderstanding, saying the quote, we know for certain that Ashlyn did not assault anyone and she did not kidnap anyone, end quote. After days of conflicting reports regarding Watkins' status on the South Carolina women's basketball team, the university confirmed last Thursday that she is suspended from all team activities at this moment. The team is set to visit the White House tomorrow to celebrate their 2024 national championship victory. This is considered a team activity. Watkins is scheduled to appear in court on October 25th.
SGTV is closely following this story and will continue to provide updates across our platforms.
South Carolina women's volleyball is 4-1 this season. SGTV reporter Ryan Stinson was at the Carolina Volleyball Complex Friday to catch a big win over Temple.
I'm here at the Carolina Volleyball Center, where South Carolina just beat the Temple Owls in straight sets in their home opener. The Gamecocks returned home after going 2-1 during their weekend trip to Durham, North Carolina, beating Duke and Colgate. South Carolina and Temple exchanged points to begin the first set, but the Gamecocks would later break away and win the set 25-17. South Carolina would go on to dominate the second set. After taking a 3-2 lead, they would lead the entire rest of the set and win 25-17. South Carolina would clinch the game with a 25-16 third set win. Carolina's scoring attack was led by graduate outside hitter Riley Whitesides, who recorded 15 kills on the game, adding to her legacy as a Gamecock. Whitesides entered the game with the 6th most career kills in program history since 2001. Defensively, graduate middle blocker Ellie Ruprick led the team with 3 solo blocks and 1 assisted block on the night. Senior middle blocker Abi Anadi was another major team contributor with 5 kills and 2 total blocks on the night. The Gamecocks will face North Carolina at home on Sunday. For SGTV, I'm Ryan Stinson.
Thanks, Ryan. The South Carolina men's soccer team hopes to continue their unbeaten streak as they face off against USC Upstate tomorrow. This streak is their longest unbeaten streak since the 2004 season. The Gamecocks took their second win on Saturday night against Belmont. The team took down the Bruins 2-1. This victory follows a win over Winthrop and draws with North Florida and Clemson. USC Upstate is currently 1-4 ahead of their conference opener with the Gamecocks. The Spartans are 1-2 at home and 0-2 away with a 200 pass completion percentage. The teams face off at 7 p.m. tomorrow with commentary from SGTV's Austin McConnell and Xander Collins streaming from our YouTube channel. Now, the atmosphere in Stone Stadium has been absolutely electric. It's been incredible.
Yes, the past 2 seasons we have led in attendance, and I think we can keep it going again another year. The guys have been out there having a great time. It's just a great atmosphere.
Absolutely. Now, SGTV entertainment reporters Raquel Negrón and Hailey Brown are in the studio. What's going on this week, guys?
Thanks, Karenna. Welcome back, Gamecocks. It has been an eventful couple of weeks back on campus. So far, students have been able to enjoy First Night Carolina, the tradition on Green Street that never fails to light up the night. With food trucks, music, and a fireworks show, it was definitely a sight to see. If you missed out on that, do not worry. Colonial Life Arena is providing some exciting shows for students this semester, one of which is Sexy Red, who is visiting Columbia. She will be performing at Colonial Life Arena, along with some other rappers to kick off homecoming weekend. Make sure to check your email for the date, where to buy tickets, and a special code for 20% off. This offer ends September 30th, so keep an eye out and turn on your email notifications. This deal is unlike any other.
It's no secret that Columbia tends to get skipped over when big musical artists tour. USC's Carolina News and Reporter revealed in 2022 that the university's athletic schedule, specifically Gamecock basketball, interferes with artists' touring schedule. With a lack of artists stopping by in Columbia, what live music can Gamecocks turn to? Tribute bands can be found performing all around Columbia, from New Brooklyn Tavern in 5 Points to the Lexington School District 2 Performing Arts Center to Ice House Amphitheater. This Friday, the Ice House Amphitheater in Lexington will be hosting its 4th annual Fallapalooza Festival. There is no better way to kick off the fall season than with some live grunge music. The show features tributes to the Seattle sound of Nirvana, Stone Temple Pilots, and Foo Fighters. Returning to the Ice House stage for this year's Fallapalooza is Nirvana, a Nirvana tribute experience, along with Glide, tribute to Stone Temple Pilots, and Hey Johnny Park presents Foo Fighters Unplugged. Tickets can be purchased on Cola Daily's website for $18. 2 things USC students love: local music and local coffee, brought together in one evening of celebration. Admiral Radio is an Americana-based band in South Carolina. The husband and wife duo are celebrating the release of their new album, Good Things Take Time, on September 13th at Inda Coffee Co. Becca and Cody got their band name from a vintage radio they purchased from an antique store in Columbia back in 2018, a 41 Admiral radio. Admiral Radio was one of America's top producers of radios in the 30s and 40s. They discovered that Becca's grandfather once worked for Admiral and was awarded Top Salesman of the Year for the state of South Carolina several years in a row. From 7 to 10 p.m. this Friday, come celebrate a band whose roots lie in rich histories, both in that of South Carolina's and the radio.
If you are looking for some of that spooky season energy before October, look no further. South Carolina Horror Convention, the sequel, is coming back for its second year. Taking place on September 14th through the 15th, the event will be held at the Columbia Metropolitan Convention Center. Get ready to have some fun with exclusive merchandise, panels, cosplay action, scare zones, and more. Visitors will also get a chance to look through the wide variety of different collectibles and old movie magic props from vendors. The lineup for the panels includes some classic actors and actresses, including cast from Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Kim Myers, Mark Patton, Jack Shoulder are just a few big-time names that can be found at the convention. Children of the Con is also being held this upcoming weekend, which is free for all kids under the age of 12. This event includes coloring, mask making, dress-up contests, and additional festivities kids will love. Ticket prices range from $13 to $20 depending on ticket choices and age. Tickets can be found on schhorror.com. I think it's great that they're doing something for horror fans this early in the season, especially since it's not even October yet.
Yeah, I feel like events like these are some of the most interesting ones around Columbia. Like, this is such a unique group of people and with such unique visuals, so I would be pretty stoked if I could attend this.
Right. That's all your entertainment news for tonight. After the break, Madelyn and Allie will return to finish up tonight's news. Stay with us.
Welcome back. 2 bars in Columbia's 5 Points were denied liquor license renewal for next year. Attorney Dick Harpootlian said that the main issue with group therapy and saloon is that, quote, "we don't believe that their primary and substantial business is a service of meals," end quote, which is the state requirement of a business who obtains this license. Harpootlian represents the neighborhood Wales Garden, which is located next to the 5 Points area. He said bars in the area serving alcohol for cheap prices results in mass amounts of intoxicated customers, quote, "rampaging through the neighborhood, destroying property, throwing up," end quote. This is not the first time that he has challenged renewal of liquor license for 5 Points. In 2021, he was unsuccessful in doing so with group therapy, but is trying again with a new mindset and expectations. However, in the same year, he was part of the shutdown of Pavlov's and Moosehead Saloon, other bars in the area that were populated by students. Group therapy is also one of the oldest bars in 5 Points, opening in 1978. Attorney Bakari Sellers, who is representing these bars, said there is no reason to, quote, "shut down the establishment since the owner and former USC quarterback Steve Tannehill has, quote, made all of the necessary upgrades to the establishment," end quote. The court will begin hearing protests, but these businesses are still able to serve alcohol until instructed otherwise. A 2-car collision on Wednesday resulted in a felony DUI charge. The traffic safety unit of the Columbia Police Department looked into the crash on Broad River Road and Lost Creek Drive. 27-year-old driver Sydney Ezel struck and killed 58-year-old victim Marilyn L. Burkett. Ezel was found to have been speeding while impaired and had her case heard by the court in Friday. Judge Gail Jabber said her actions show she was a, quote, "danger to society," end quote. Burkett's family was able to make statements throughout the hearing, in addition to a letter read aloud by a witness of the crash. The witness also believed that it was in the court's best interest to keep Ezel behind bars due to her permanent actions. Bond has been denied, and Ezel will remain in Alvin S. Glenn Detention Center. Her next court date appearances are scheduled for October and November.
Former Casey Police Chief Chris Cohen is taking on a new role after decades of serving his community. After spending 29 years with the Richland County Sheriff's Department, Cohen is stepping down to join USC's Joseph F. Rice School of Law. The Gamecock alumna will serve as the Director of Strategic Initiatives for the Excellence in Policing and Public Safety program. The program focuses on professional development and provides research assistance to law enforcement agencies across the state. In his new role, he will develop curriculum and build strategic partnerships to improve police leadership and management. Cohen says he's excited to continue serving the law enforcement in this new way. This is really exciting, Allie, because not only is this great for safety purposes, but he's qualified, if not overqualified, and I think he'll bring some really great leadership ideas to the team.
Exactly. It's nice to have people who have had that experience, especially in an area like this where you're training kids and getting them prepared to go into this direct environment. So I'm excited to see what he has to bring onto the board.
Definitely.
That wraps up tonight's edition of Student News at 7.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram, X, and Facebook at SGTV at USC.
To keep up with all of our content, be sure to also visit us online at sgtv@usc.com. For SGTV, I'm Allie Popielarczyk.
And I'm Madelyn Cooper. From all of us here at SGTV, have a great night, Carolina, forever to be.